Vemsani, please, you can get started. You can share your screen and then get started. Okay, perfect. Okay.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lavanya Vemsani. I'm speaking from Ohio. I really miss being there. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. I thank the organizers and all of you present there. So now I'll start with the presentation. This is a general introduction on what is happening with the women worldwide. I will just take a few examples to outline how these oppressions keep continuing even after lots of efforts, lots of planning from every side, from non-governmental organizations as well as governmental organizations. It seems that the organizations, the governments are planning, but they are not really connected to the ground reality. So that's what I will be highlighting here. So I'll talk about the oppressions and how there are different types of oppression that is seen in different places. So when I examine this oppression, I will examine two types of oppression, generally inside and outside oppression under normal circumstances. Even under normal circumstances, even under peaceful circumstances, women face oppressive conditions. So that's what will be the first point. The second point is women under exceptional circumstances like war. So when there is oppression under normal circumstances, you can imagine the increasing violence on oppression under exceptional circumstances like war and revolution. So I will be talking about these two things, and then I will also be speaking about the new oppression that has arrived with AI and new electronic generation. So this is just a examination of what is going on, not about solutions or what to do. So oppression, the forms of oppression inside and outside. The inside, of course, home. So in the home circumstances where a woman is born actually decides what kind of treatment, what kind of opportunities she will get. Not so in the case of men. The circumstances actually decide more for women than men. So, for example, sometimes, some forms considered cultural practices could be oppressive towards women. For example, FGM or things like that. And of course, domestic violence and child marriage. These are all, arising at home, but these are pretty widespread problems across the world. Despite efforts for the last 50 years, these are ongoing and continuing problems, mainly because of the local and familiar norms, not really affected by other things. And outside, of course, there are unequal rights and opportunities that are missing for women. So even for industrialized nations like US and Western nations, you can see achievement gaps, like because boardrooms and political arena is still missing women. And crimes against women still continuing. This is outside. Even though there are so many legal and defense structures put in place in many places, the problems still continue. Rape, human trafficking, and child abduction are still problems. So the legal challenges are there. So these are ongoing problems. So inside the home, so where a woman is born, decides also what kind of problems she will face. And also where she lives, the outside problems also decide what problems she will face. Although there are common problems across the world. So trafficking is one of the largest in the world and very common across the world. So United States law enforcement actually uncovered lots of forced labor A few years ago, you might have noticed from a hotel room, some women escaped and all that. So anyway, if this is the case with a developed nation, you can imagine what is going on in underdeveloped nations. So, data provided by the National Human Trafficking Hotline, there are about 27.6 million victims of forced labor worldwide. So, in the United States, domestic work is performed most of the time by such exploited labor. So, 27.6 million is, of course, the recorded cases. You can imagine what would be the unrecorded cases. So it would easily be 100 million. Generally, these are employed in different places. We don't have to go into details. That's one of the major problems. And what is the solution for this issue? So, anytime the government is dealing with such problems, they are only focused on what they can do. They are not really involving the families and social and cultural things. So they, when they are forming the legal frameworks, I think it's important to involve families and communities. That would help in finding a solution for problems like this. Uh, so so uh, there should be a unique plan to tackle each of the unique issues. So they cannot expect to have one plan and tackle all problems across the world. So the UN actually proposes these paradigms. What has to be tackled. The year of the girl child, like that. But it misses the point of having unique design for each unique nation. So the first thing that must be done is that a plan to actually track what is happening. So the UN must be asking each nation to track what are its issues with regards to women. So women's issues must be documented. The first step would be documentation, and second step would be frameworks must include family and government. So this the planning. And the third point should be any plan that is put in place should have priority for community. So the community and government involvement must be used to tackle any of the issues that are documented. That is under normal circumstances. Under normal circumstances, there are all these issues and, human trafficking and many things that are happening. But when there are wars and revolutions, there will be even more of a problem, even more of issues that women face. Because being the weakest, being the easiest to abduct and harass, so women are used as pawns within the wars and other things. So in the recent history, we have seen how the Yazidi women in the Middle East have been targeted for abductions, violence, using them as domestic slaves and sex slaves and trafficking. And recent news also brought down Hindu women, minority Hindu women, how they were abducted, forced into marriages, used as domestic and sex slaves, and also trafficked into slavery and work. And also stories of how they are being sold and all that, slowly sold into slavery. So during revolutions and wars, there are even more issues. Only emergency measures work under exceptional circumstances. So internal governmental agencies failed because revolution and war is going on. International aid groups and neighboring nations must be involved. So when that type of things happen, it's important that international aid groups and neighboring nations must get involved, must be involved. Uh, Many times these neighboring nations and aid groups fail in helping the women. They really don't have any plan that's designed specifically to help women. So special training and aid must be available to volunteers working in disturbed regions. So they should have a special training to know how these women can be helped who are stuck in difficult circumstances. And in addition to that, we are actually facing another issue in the modern world. In addition to what is happening to women due to all these cultural practices and also due to wars and crises, in addition to that, there is another invisible violence that emerges across the world against the women. So any new tool that comes with both advantages and disadvantages, right? The new electronic media, social media is very useful, very good. And you may have seen recently the lawmakers in US and lawmakers in Australia have shared how nude images of these MPs have been manipulated and shared on social media. And of course, some rogue partners also share nude images of their partners. So that's a problem. Now, the problem becomes even more difficult to handle because not just images of the people, but manipulated images of the people. They don't have to release their pictures. They don't have to come from an authentic source. AI can actually be used to make images, nude images or pornographic images of the women, and they can be shared online and used for threatening. And so it's a new problem and a bigger problem for women. So um, so important to tackle. Of course, direct problems need to be tackled, but this new frontier has also been tackled. So new level of security and legal frameworks are needed for 21st century. So the direct physical violence, direct oppression should be handled by the governments along with the community. At the same time, they should also plan to tackle the indirect violence over electronic media and AI usage. These must be addressed also. So new plans must be put in place to handle these things. And thank you very much. That's how much I've prepared. So thank you.